And we are live. What's going on, guys? Hopefully you're all doing well. All of that good stuff, man. Some good boxing this weekend, some interesting fights, some big name fights. We'll see what happens, man. But yeah, just a quick little boxing chat, nothing special, nothing too long. Just really plan on being on maybe an hour, hour and a half at max. We'll see where it goes, man. We'll see where it goes. 1 second. Boom, boom, boom. Just sorting something in the background. There's actually a fight on tonight as well. Sam Eggington, he's fighting Ashley Fearpain. I might watch that one, actually. I might watch it. Might do a post-fight. I'm not sure yet. I might do one. Yes, big up to St. Brit Sports. Leeds United FC. Big Leeds fan, St. Brit. We'll see what happens this weekend when you play West Ham. Big David Moyes going to do you in, mate. Trust me. But big up to St. Brit. Big up to Ivelin Galobov as well in the chat. Talk about Pulev. I will in the second, bro. I will in the second. Big Dan, I hope Pulev gives it a good go. Yeah, so do I. I hope Pulev makes it interesting. He's turned up in really good shape, I have to say. Looking at him in the weigh-in, he looks like he's trained hard, had a long camp. He's looking in really, really good nick, to be honest, which is good to see. I am concerned about Pulev's previous performances leading into this fight, to be honest. The Rydell Booker fight, for example, really wasn't impressed. The Bogdan Dinu fight, you know, he was getting touched up a lot in that fight. And to me, he looks like a fighter who is just aging before us. Seems to have slowed down a bit, doesn't really take the same sort of shot. So I'm really doubtful of Pulev going into this fight, just based on what I've seen post-Klitschko. He's had a few shaky performances, but maybe he can turn back the clock and really pull something special off. We'll see. But, you know, what I've seen in the past doesn't really fill me with any confidence, I have to be honest. A lot of people are making out like this is the same version of Pulev who Vladimir fought. But to me, there's a noticeable difference. To me, anyway. Ivelin, he says, AJ's going to quit again. Listen, if you do it once, you can do it again, I guess. If you do it once, you can do it again. Big up to Crazy D3 in the chat. Oh, it's about to start, St. Brit. I thought it was tomorrow, bro. Big up to AZ. Big up to Box. Yeah, exactly, St. Brit. Exactly. I mean, even the Huey Fury fight. I mean, yeah, Pulev won that fight comfortably. However, we do have to consider Huey Fury was compromised going into that fight. He went into that fight with a cut. It got opened up in the second round, and he couldn't really compete. And even in that fight, watch that fight back if you dare. Huey Fury buzzed Kubrat Pulev quite badly with a right hand. Huey Fury can't punch. I wonder about Kubrat Pulev's punch resistance these days. Since the Klitschko fight, I'm not sure he takes the same sort of shot. I think that Vladimir Klitschko defeat took a lot out of him in terms of confidence, punch resistance, etc., etc. He's just been on the... Pulev's been on the periphery for a long time now. He's taken a lot of fights that don't really improve you as a fighter. Guys like Kevin Johnson, Samuel Peter, Bogdan Dinu, Rydell Booker. He's had loads of nothing fights. He's had 2 competitive fights in... Since the Klitschko fight, he's had 2 competitive fights. Chisora and Huey Fury. They're the only 2 names he's fought in that time period. And what? That's a 6-year time period. That's not good preparation going into this fight, and he's not looked good. I defy anybody to say Pulev's looked good in this time. He hasn't. So, I'd like to see Pulev prove me wrong and give it a good go, but I'm just not really holding out any hope. Brandon Blanco, no, Pulev won't stand a chance. Pulev is Brazil-level opponents. You know, this fight a few years ago would have been interesting because I did used to rate Pulev. I think he's a good, solid boxer. He's got a lovely jab, does the basics well. He's got okay power, you know. But like I said, to me, it's just the age with Pulev. It's the wear and tear. He was also a very good amateur, but he was in the amateurs a long time, Pulev. I think he turned pro at like 28 maybe. So he was quite a late starter. Where can I watch the Dennis Hobson show? In a car park. Yes, big up to Jim McDonald in the chat as well. Big up to Jim McDonald every single time. Hopefully Liz is keeping well. Her mate Barbara Windsor just died, so commiserations. Okay, it's on Amazon Prime. There we go. Big up Dennis Hobson. Big up Dennis Hobson. Yeah, that's a good point, Ivelin. Yeah, Povetkin and Parker did worse against Hughie Fury. That is a good point. That is a good point. But like I said, the problem was Hughie went into that fight with a cut that he sustained in sparring a couple of weeks before, and that it certainly hindered his performance. And it kind of flattered Pulev a little bit. Again, I sound really down on Pulev. I've got nothing against Pulev. I quite like him as a person, and I rated him back in the day. It's just I've not seen enough from him to really fill me with any confidence. If I was Pulev, I'd just chance my arm very early on and risk it all, basically. I'll try and go to war. I'll try and engage Joshua in a shootout, see what happens. Because I think if Pulev tries to play it circumspect behind the jab, I think it's going to give Joshua time and space to land those powerful combinations. Maybe that hook goes around the guard, which Pulev is open for. I think if Pulev boxes with Joshua, that's showing him too much respect. Pulev needs to change it up, in my opinion, and actually really go for it. Throw that overhand right, see what happens. Joshua can be hurt. Joshua is vulnerable, and Pulev needs to test that early on. He needs to ask questions of Joshua early on, but it's not really in his style to do that. He's very he likes to fight behind that jab and really pick his openings. Pulev. I'm not sure that's the right strategy in this fight. Maybe Pulev's going to surprise us. Who knows? It's on tonight, Crazy D3. Channel 5, bro. Channel 5. Yeah, exactly. Hughie had a cut against Pulev. Yeah, he actually got the cut before the fight in sparring. Yes, big up to BG London, man, every single time. Hopefully you're doing well, bro. AA Boxing and Blunts. Pulev has a good jab, but I don't think it's going to be enough to beat AJ. Exactly. He needs to show a lot more than that. I think that jab in itself could actually give AJ some problems. You see, when Joshua's been like he's had his nose bloodied up in a few fights. Maybe Pulev could land a couple of hard jabs early on, come forward on the front foot, try and force Joshua back. Maybe he could have success doing that. But I think the worst thing he could do is just standing off Joshua and boxing. I think that's the worst thing he can do in this one. His reactions aren't what they were. His speed isn't what it was. So I think that's a bad idea. That's a good point, Box. That's a good point. Mind you, he actually went 12 rounds, though. Adam Scott, he says, hi, Del, he stands a fair chance. Once you get stopped like AJ did against Ruiz, your confidence is shot. Joshua's going to be boring as hell to watch now. I'm not sure, Adam. I think this fight is perfect for him to make a statement. And I think that's what the mindset Joshua's going in with in this fight. I think he really needs to make a statement. I think he wants to. I like the weight that he's coming at. He's only 3 pounds heavier than he was for the Ruiz rematch. I like that weight for Joshua. And yeah, I expect him to try and pull it on Pulev, basically, and take him out. I think that's what he's going to try and do. I think he needs it right now, personally. I think he needs it. Oh, Christ. Big up to MMA champ. Good to see you here, bro. Big up to Levi Khan. It's Del Boy on them 1s and 2s. I'm tuned in, as the Brits would say. Yes, sir, tuned in. Indeed, indeed. Yeah, Ivelin, do you mean Pulev being aggressive? I think he should do that, bro. I really do. He needs to roll the dice, because basically this is his last chance. If he loses this fight, he's basically done at the top level. So why not roll the dice? Why not? He's not the guy he once was. Try and tag Joshua early, make Joshua doubt himself, cause a bit of damage, and see what happens, basically. See what happens. Like, Pulev can he can actually. The only time he's tried that was against Vladimir Klitschko, and obviously in that fight, probably the wrong tactics. But where Pulev is right now in his career, I actually think those tactics are the right tactics. Believe it or not, I really do. Thoughts on Pulev's previous fight with Rydell Booker? If you watched it, yeah, it was very workmanlike. BG London didn't really impress me at all. 1-2s by Pulev wasn't really putting his shots together. And Rydell Booker, concerningly, actually showed some ambition in that fight. He actually threw back. And there's a reason why he did that against Pulev, but not against Filip Hrgovic. That in itself is very telling. But to me, in that fight, Pulev looked pretty slow, pretty predictable. I know Rydell Booker's somewhat awkward, but still, it's Rydell Booker. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I do. I get like that sometimes, Big Dan. I get like that sometimes. But I'm watching this fight tomorrow with my friends. Actually, getting a few beers in and making a night of it. So should be a good laugh. Should be some good fun. Jabbing is not the best option. Yeah, I think he needs to use the jab. Don't get me wrong, but just in a more aggressive fashion. Actually try and throw punches off that jab, force Joshua back, and really kind of use it as a weapon, kind of thing. Try and do some damage against Joshua. Try and bust that face up. Pulev is going to get taken out. He did similar antics versus Vladimir and got splattered horrifically. He did, yeah, he did. Yeah, he got beat up in that one, man. He really did. That left hook to finish him off as well was savage. Jim McDonald boxing. I watched the Dave Allen podcast with Rob Tebbett the other day. No lie, I couldn't understand 50% of what he was saying. That wasn't Yorkshire accent, it was mongery. Jesus Christ. Christ almighty. Christ. Hughie Fury stoppage tomorrow. A big statement, Tins, because Marius Wack rarely gets stopped. He only gets stopped against, really elite heavyweights who can punch a bit. I think Hughie Fury is going to win that on points relatively comfortably. Marius Wack is slow as molasses. He's old. He's decrepit, but he's got a good shin. So I think Hughie's just going to box past him. Yeah, Pulev last fought Rydell Booker and is now taking on AJ. Haha, Bob Arum knows damn well Pulev's not taking the win. Yeah, exactly. He's just talking shit. Not getting an Amazon Prime account to watch Tommy Frank. Fuck me, it's on Amazon. Jesus. Okay, what are the odds on Pulev compared to Andy Ruiz last June? I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure at all. Let's have a no, I had a look yesterday, actually. What are the odds on Pulev? Let's have a look. Kubrat Pulev. 7-1. Yeah, 7-1 Pulev. So yeah, he's a big outsider. Big up to John Gonzalez. Each and every time. One second, lads. I'm going to get a drink. One sec. Right, I'm back. Yes, big up to John Gonzalez. Long time no see, bro. Long time no see. Hopefully you're keeping well. Hopefully you're keeping well. Are you dissatisfied that there is no women fighting on this undercard? Oh yeah, 100%, bro. I'm fuming. I'm seething. Can't believe it. No, I'm glad, bro. I'm glad. I'll tell you what. Actually, people criticize the PBC, but that's one thing I appreciate about the PBC. I love the fact that they don't put on women's fights usually. I love that. Just not a fan of it, man. As you guys know. Shit. I need to press the wrong button then. Bukole will defeat Kuzmin. Kuzmin is too slow and not powerful enough. Bad matchup for the Russian. I'm not sure, Levi. I think he carries power in the overhand right. I think he carries enough power. He's got a hard jab as well. He's very durable and tough, Sergey Kuzmin. So if Kuzmin can take Bukole into deep waters, I think he's got a great chance. I really do. Question marks have to be, there are questions over Bukole after that Hunter defeat because he kind of wanted out in that fight. So maybe if Kuzmin can take him back to that place, then who knows? I think that's a good fight. It's a good fight. Will Jazowski last all 12 rounds against Big Sauce Akole, or will he be stopped? To be honest, Levi, I've never seen Jazowski fight before, so I can't really tell you. I'm not going to lie to you. I've never seen him fight. Big up to Triple J. He's going to send Pulev on a sleepy magic carpet. Fuck me. Yeah, Joshua's going to knock him out. Bukole versus Kuzmin, thoughts, prediction. So my official prediction when I made it originally was Kuzmin by the upset. I've still got that video up, so I guess that's what I'm sticking with. I'm going to go Kuzmin by upset. Why not? Why not, man? My predictions this year have been horrible anyway, so why not try and pick an upset? I've seen live sparring with Toko Khan Clary, and he won't last against Shakur Stevenson. Very average fighter against an elite prospect. Yeah, I mean, Kid Galahad shut him out as well. Toko Khan Clary, and that was a couple of years ago. I think he meant Wax stops Hughie Fury. Nah, I can't see it happening. Hughie's too defensively sound. Listen, I shit on Hughie Fury, but someone like Marius Wack is never going to stop him. Hughie Fury, for all of his faults, has a great chin, I have to say. He took some bombs from Povetkin, like flush left hooks, overhand rights, and he took those shots extremely well. Listen, Hughie Fury's got a great chin. That's one thing I'll give him credit for. Got a really good chin. And his defense isn't bad at all. Just his offense is so poor. His punch technique is so poor. He doesn't take the initiative enough. Just kind of, yeah, he's got some good attributes, Hughie, but he's not for me. Hughie's put on 2 stone, Hughie's put on 2 stone. He has to make a statement tomorrow, in my opinion. Yeah, stopping Marius Wack would definitely be a statement. Yes, big up to Intangible Boxing News. Team Marius Wack, Team Kosei Tanaka in the house. See, it's fucking, nah, not Tanaka, bro. Kazuto Aoka every single time. It makes sense. He's going to go in there against the young man, the young pretender, and he's going to work that body. He's going to old man him. And Ioka is going to drown Tanaka in deep waters. You've heard it here first. It's going to be an 11th round stoppage. And yeah, via accumulation. That's what's going to happen. It's going to happen. Yes, we've got Dave Allen's last brain cell in the building. Hopefully you're keeping well. Yes, 100% BG. 100%. This will be Pulev's last fight. Especially if he goes out the way I expect him to, which is on his back. He's going to get done in. He's going to get absolutely sparked. Do you think Bukole Kuzmin winner or Zhang would be good next for Hughie? Yeah, they're good fights for Hughie Fury. Tins, I'd watch all of those fights. Tom Little versus Dave Allen. Winner stays on. Of course, loser goes home. I'm not interested in either guy, Levi. I'll be honest with you. Especially Dave Allen. Yes, big up to G-Man Boxing every single time, bro. Hopefully you're keeping well. Hopefully you're looking forward to the fights this weekend. The big fight is Ashley Fearpain versus, what's his face? Sam Eggington. Mr. Doc, we all know Dwyer is going to lose money on Pulev if it's 7-1. I love a bit of Dwyer, man. I love a bit of Dwyer. The opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this to be an opinion from a complete stranger online. That guy's hilarious, man. I like Dwyer. He actually raises some really good points, Dwyer, at times. He's a good channel. I like Dwyer. Left Paul B, left hook, right uppercut within 4. Kubrat, Pulev asleep. His best and only real weapon is also his biggest weakness. Just look at how Vladimir was willing to leap in to expose how open Kubrat leaves himself. I agree, Paul B. Sorry, I agree. Very good observation. The jab really kind of he relies on it too much, Pulev, and yeah, Vladimir saw that. He saw the opening for the left hook, and yeah, he took it, man. He took it well and truly. Lucas Brown's fighting that new Aussie prospect in June. What's his name? But anyone with a pulse will beat Lucas Brown at this point. Yeah, you mean Justice Honey, the Australian kid? Yeah, 2-0, very good prospect. Looks very good. Good hand speed. He can switch it. He can punch. Good punch volume. Justice Honey is a very good prospect. He's raw, but a very good prospect. Caballo versus Rodriguez has been made for the WBC bantamweight title, the interim title. Okay, I know Nonito Donaire pulled out because of COVID apparently, so I don't know. I'm not sure about this Caballo guy. I've not seen him fight. Maybe I have seen him fight, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, I see that on Twitter. Intangible Shannon Courtney getting sent to hell. Love to see it, don't you? 100%, bro. 100%. So she said on Twitter, yeah, like the other day, maybe yesterday, about how she was seeing all these rude messages to boxers, be kind, you know, mental health, mental health, mental health. And somebody actually dragged up loads of her old tweets, which were basically, yeah, very, you know, weren't great tweets, and she got exposed as like a hypocrite. That's hilarious, man. Absolutely hilarious. Peter Fury just accidentally tweeted tomorrow's excuse. Huey was not well during the camp. Next time you will see the real Huey, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it sounds about right, AA Boxing and Blunts. You forgot one point, no, you forgot one point. Oh, Huey Fury is only 26 years old. You forgot that. Which brother is better, Martin Bakole or Junior Bakole Ilunga? So Junior's a much better fighter. Ilunga Makabu, 100%. 100%. Exactly, bro. Jazewski went a split decision with Shaundell Winters. So, yeah, that says it all, really, doesn't it? That says it all. Yeah, exactly, intangible. Yeah, so, yeah, she made that tweet about being kind, and then loads of people found her old tweets, and she got exposed. That's hilarious. Mr. Relaxio Delboy, you watching the boxing tonight? Hope to see some of Tommy Welch's debut as well. Yeah, so Tommy Welch, funny you say that. I was watching an interview with Scott Welch, innit, his dad, on Boxing Life Stories. Really, really good interview by Tris Dixon, if you've not seen it. And yeah, I'm interested, Mr. Relax. I'm interested. See how good he looks. See how good he looks. No, I've not seen it, Simon. I've not seen it. I heard he lost, though. I heard it was dubious. Yes, big up Joe DC every single time. Every single time. Big up to Joe. AA Boxing and Blunts. Wack and Huey have sparred hundreds of rounds. At one point, Wack was in the Fury camp for years. I remember that, AA. Yeah, I remember that. They used to use Marius Wack a lot. That's a very good point. I forgot about that. It's a very good point. I forgot about that until you said sorry. You jogged my memory. Did you watch the recent Sporting Icons video? He chatted to Huey's sparring partner, and apparently Huey's got a special move that KOs anyone and nobody can stop it. We'll see what happens, Lorry Driver Fitness. We'll see what happens. I very much doubt Huey Fury stops Marius Wack. I very much doubt it. He'll outpoint him on the jab, land a couple of right hands, but that's really it. That's going to be a dull fight. It's going to be a dull fight. The undercard actually is really disappointing. I like the Bakole Kuzmin fight, but that's really it, to be honest. That's really it. You've got Florian Marku in a tune-up fight, basically. Kieran Conway versus Macaulay Culkin, whatever his name is. The undercard's not great at all. Lawrence Okole versus Jazewski, who's not proven anything. It's not a great undercard, is it? It's not a great undercard at all. Yes, big up to Adam Moore. How's it going, Adam? Has Dwyer ever picked AJ? Dwyer is the master of breaking down styles. Yeah, Dwyer doesn't seem to like Joshua for some reason. I've noticed that as well. See, I'm not a big fan of any of these heavyweights, Joshua, Fury, Wilder, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Mr. Doctors. So does anyone else have the sneaking suspicion that old man Theopain has enough to slap around Eggington? No, I think Theopain's going to get fucked up, mate. 40 years old. I mean, I can't see it, bro. I can't see it. The fight's at 154 as well. Theopain really is a welterweight slash junior welterweight. I can't see it, bro. He can mess around Eggington for a few rounds, but I don't think he's got the punch volume, strength to really keep up in that fight. He's too old. Too old and too small, I would say. In Dwyer's words, if the fight between Pulev versus Joshua goes for full 12 rounds, then Pulev's going to clearly win by a few rounds. I don't see that. Oh, my days. Good point, Joe DC. Hey, dude. So is the first Bridgerweight champion going to be undisputed champion? Laugh out loud. Yeah, there's only going to be one of them, so it's undisputed, technically. If there's only one champion, then it's undisputed who's the champion. So I guess so. I guess so. Have you guys seen the rankings, by the way, for that division? Fucking terrible rankings. Like Oscar Rivas #1, Alan Babich is the 6th best fighter in those rankings. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Dillian White must be absolutely fuming. His career is in tatters all of a sudden. What a turn of events. Dillian White is an absolute clown, in my opinion. I'll be honest with you, Levi. The guy, he's played politics and he's got burnt, basically. The guy's had chances to fight for titles. He's had chances to fight in eliminators, and he turned them all down. He could have fought Pulev in Bulgaria, turned it down. Could have fought Joshua for all other belts, turned it down. Could have fought Luis Ortiz in the WBC eliminator, turned it down. His doing is on his own back. Dillian White. Dillian's just, he's a good fighter, Dillian, but yeah, he's overhyped, man. Yeah, I agree. Fight film. Pulev did the right thing. He wasn't outlasting, outworking, outboxing, decisioning Vladimir. Same here. KO or bust. Yeah, I agree, bro. I think he needs to let it all hang out in this one. He really does. And I think he will do for some reason. I think he'll try it. I think he will do. Whether that's good enough or not, we'll see. But I'm only going on what Pulev's done recently, and to me, he's not looked that great. But maybe that's a motivation thing. When you're fighting guys like Rydell Booker, Bogdan Dinu, maybe it's hard for him to get up for those fights. That could be possible, but I wasn't impressed in those ones. I hope Pulev actually comes to fight, though. That's all I hope for. I hope he comes to fight and doesn't lie down. Beautiful cup of coffee. Oh, yeah, I saw that, G-Man. I saw that. Exactly, D. She's like that typical girl from like every English like council estate kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? There's one of those sort of girls on all the estates. Mohammed Ahmad Bruce Lee. Big up, sir. Big up to you. If undisputed ever happens, what weight would you need it to be? Would you need the WBC weight and above for all of the belts? I'm not sure what you mean, bro. Oh, you mean Bridger weight? Fuck knows, mate. I don't even know what's going on there. I really don't know. Yeah, Huey's just a baby. Yeah, we've heard that for like 6 years now, haven't we? Huey's just a baby. Yeah, they are very good watches, Joe DC. Yeah, Tris Dixon, Boxing Life Stories, a really, really good channel. He's actually a really good journalist, Tris Dixon, a good boxing journalist. He's definitely put his work in, done it for years and years and years. Great interviewer. And yeah, the interview that he did with George Groves the other week was really interesting. He was kind of opening up about his mentality as a fighter, the various points of his career. Really interesting interview with George Groves as well, with Tris Dixon. Really good stuff, man. Oh yeah, Adam Moore. Yeah, she was a big lump, weren't she, before she started boxing? Yeah, she was a big lump. Dave Allen looks like he's just woke up. He always looks like that, doesn't he? He always looks like that. Too many punches upside the head will do that to you. God knows Levi Khan. Maybe 40k. Marius Wack. I'm not. I've got no idea, mate. Got no idea. Yeah, I saw that Levi Khan. Johnny Nelson quoted James Tennyson would beat Gervonta Davis. Laugh out loud. That wouldn't last 3 rounds, and we know who'd win. Yeah. So the guy who got knocked out by Tevin Farmer beats Gervonta Davis, according to Johnny Nelson. This is what Sky do to people in the UK, the casual fans. You know, absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm not as high on Gervonta as a lot of people are, but he would fucking punch holes through James Tennyson. What a ridiculous thing to say. Ridiculous thing to say, isn't it? Just so stupid. That's the same Johnny Nelson though, who said Kelbrook would beat Golovkin. Blah de blah de blah. The guy's a clown. AA boxing and blunts. Huey lacks power. The only people he ever puts to sleep is the audience. Him and Okoli on the same card is going to be fun build up to Joshua. Yeah, I was surprised that both of these guys are on the same card, man. Particularly like Huey Fury versus Marius Wack. We know what's going to happen in that fight. It's going to be a ball fest. Huey's going to win on points against a statue. That's what's going to happen. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It's fucking the undercard's terrible for the most part. £25 as well. What a joke. Yeah, I feel the same way, Levi. Yeah, Sam's he's gonna smash up Fear Pain. Yeah, he's too old. He's 40 years old. Seen better days, man. Seen better days. Babic versus Gassiev. Listen, Mr. Doc, if you want to get Babic killed, then make the fight. But I'm telling you right now, Murat Gassiev will knock Babic to another dimension. Like, I think Gassiev is going to give a lot of heavyweights problems. I really do. I think he's going to be pretty decent. Yeah, Muhammad Ahmad, Bruce Lee. Oh yeah, imagine Kelly Maloney. Like, yeah, she's a hideous cretin, isn't she? Kelly Maloney, whatever her name is. Disgraceful, isn't it? Oh Christ, Jesus! Just announced the WBC put the 168 full title on the line for Canelo versus Smith. Oh my days! Seriously? Don't surprise me though, innit? It doesn't surprise me. They've got the built-in excuse. Callum Smith is diamond champion. Blah blah blah. I'm not surprised at all. So that means what? Canelo's going to fight Avni Yildirim next, who's like the mandatory. He's legally entitled to a shot. Fuck me. It's absolutely ridiculous. Christ. Ah. Exactly, Levi. If somebody can beat Rydell Booker and Bogdan Dinu before taking the unified belts home, I'm a Dutchman. Yeah, exactly. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It would be a fun fight, Mr. Doc. It would be a fun fight. But I think Babic gets put to sleep, honestly. I think Babic gets put to sleep by top cruiserweights, in all honesty. I'm talking about guys like Mayris Briedis, Lunga Makabu, these sort of guys. They'd put Babic to sleep. He's not even really a big cruiserweight, Babic, when you look at him. There's cruiserweights who are bigger than him. Like, imagine Lawrence Okole versus Babic. Yeah, it is, Joe. Yeah, it's a unification. Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. Again, Eddie Hearn selling it that if Joshua loses this fight, he loses the Tyson Fury fight. If Joshua loses this fight, we know there's going to be a rematch. There's going to be a rematch clause here. He said the same thing with Dillian White and Povetkin. Oh, if Dillian loses this, he's lost his mandatory shot and he needs to start again. Lo and behold, there is a rematch clause. So yeah, you're right, BG. You got to beat Joshua twice. Yeah, you do. You do, man. I get sick of rematch clauses. I really do. Get sick to death of them, particularly with like fights in which are resounding in their result. Then we get a rematch. Ridiculous. Big up to James. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Glad you covered all bases there. You covered all bases. Will Beterbiev fight that Chinese boxer trained by Sean George or Adam Dinez? Um, well, Fan Long Meng is his mandatory, but from what I heard, he was injured. So the IBF moved down to the next available guy, which was Adam Dinez. But I've heard nothing since then. They was trying to get that fight sorted for the end of this year, but it fell through for whatever reason. I think Beterbiev got injured, and we're nowhere any closer to it. Beterbiev's going to be one of those guys who I think we've never really seen him at his best at the elite level, and I don't think we ever will. To be honest, he's 36 now. Time's ticking. I think we might have seen the best years of Beterbiev already, and unfortunately, he spent those years being injured, inactive, and not fighting. And the longer it goes, Bivol has a much better chance of beating him, because that fight won't happen until you would imagine earliest back end of next year. And by then, Bivol would have a great chance. So as much as I like Beterbiev, he's my favourite fighter, it's not looking great for him right now. It's not looking great for him. And I like Beterbiev, but I've got to be honest about it. It's not looking great for him. Like, even that Joe Smith Jr. fight looks dangerous right now. To be honest, Jamie, I don't really give him much of a chance of seeing the final bell. I think he's going to be a bit more aggressive in this fight, and that's going to be kill or be killed. Obviously, he's either going to get knocked out, which is likely, or unlikely knock out Joshua. It's not going the distance. I'll be very surprised. I'll be very surprised. That's true, Mr. Doc. Does actually Fear Pain now hit harder than Paulie when Paulie fought Sam? That's the $1 million question, Mr. Doc. But I think Sam's just too fresh, far too fresh. He certainly doesn't hit harder than Ted Cheeseman, who Sam took his power relatively well in that fight. So yeah, Sam's going to walk him down and beat him. Logan Paul's going to beat Floyd Mayweather. Christ. Yes, big up to Nordic Warrior, man. Big up to Nordic. Hopefully you're keeping well, bro. Hopefully you're keeping well. Let's see that Pricey Allen rematch. Team Pricey, fuck the world, laugh out loud. Yeah, Team Pricey might put fucking Dave Allen in the morgue next time. He put him in hospital first time around. So listen, David Price going to finish what he started. That was a brutal fucking beatdown. That really was. I think it'll be competitive, Nordic, for as long as it lasts. It's going to be relatively competitive, and it's on free TV. So what's not to like? What's not to like, man? I agree, James. I think Gassiev is a real good talent, and I think he's going to do very well at heavyweight. He's nice and compact. He's got good timing. I think his hand speed for a heavyweight is quite respectable. Solid all-round fundamentals. He can work the body. Good counter puncher. I think he's going to do well, and I think his power at heavyweight is going to surprise people. I really do. I think he's going to surprise people. People forget cruiserweight is a stacked division, or at least it was when Gassiev was fighting there. It really was a stacked division. Like, the top 5 at cruiserweight at that time was what? Briedis, Usyk, Gassiev, Dorticos, and maybe Makabu. That's a hell of a top 5 for any division. He was in a real tough division. The heavyweight division is not that deep. Gassiev can beat a lot of guys, in my opinion. He really can. Time will tell. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he's going to do well. I think he'll do well. Big up to Franz and to in the chat. Long time no see, bro. All boxing freedom talking news. Wack beats Huey unless he's improved. See, I don't think so. All boxing freedom talking news. I don't think so. I can't see it. I really can't see it. He's too old. Too slow, too old. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah, Sam Jones right now is making a name for himself, isn't he? Poundland Eddie Hearn. But he's doing well. He's done well by Joe Joyce. He gets his fighters big opportunities. He seems like he's doing his job properly. His fighters seem to like him as well, which is a good sign. Seems to be doing a good job, Sam. Frank strap on Sally Maloney. Oh, my days. Oh, Briadis would kill Babic. He would kill Babic. Imagine that Briadis uppercut against Alan Babic. When Babic comes forwards, he doesn't take his head off centre line, comes forward in straight lines, no real guard. That uppercut's going to ping him, man, honestly. Briadis knocks him out. Babic versus Zili Zhang, that would be funny. Yeah, Zili Zhang is like 6'6". He's a southpaw. He's not great, but he might be too big for Babic, to be honest. I think I'd pick Zhang to beat him. I think Zhang's going to beat him. Andy Ruiz, overrated or underrated by boxing fans? What do you think? I mean, I don't think he's that great, honestly. I don't think he's that great. He's got nice hand speed, good combination puncher. But he's got slow feet, no head movement, can't cut the ring off. You know, he kind of fights in patterns, which is kind of predictable. You know, when he's going to attack, he takes a lot of breaks in the ring. I think he's somewhat overrated by a lot of people, Andy Ruiz. Like I've seen a lot of people say that if Ruiz was always in shape, he'd be like a top 3 heavyweight. I'm not so sure about that, to be honest. I'm not so sure. He's decent, he's good, but I don't think he's as great as a lot of people make out. Just a good fighter. He's a good fighter, but nothing more, nothing less. I think Wack can beat Huey. That's a fight that can surprise people. If Marius Wack fights similar to how he did Dillian White and actually shows ambition, comes forwards, tries to work the body, come up top with headshots, maybe he can do it. But he needs to really pressure Huey. He can't box with Huey in this fight. He needs to pressure him, try and lean all over him, push him back, use a good punch output. He needs to put it on Huey, make Huey fight. You know, try and draw Huey into a fight. Do you know what though, Nordic? I'd like to see Marius Wack win that fight because I'm not a big fan of Huey anyway. So I'd like Marius to win it, but I can't really see it. Jamie Ritchie, is Hearn using Babic to play the role of a new White Rhino? It looks like that, Jamie. Just the new gimmick on Sky Sports. That's what he kind of looks like. That whole savage persona. Yes. I don't think he's that great at all, Jamie, to be honest. When he steps up to like an elite level, not even like an elite level, but when he steps up against somebody who can box a bit, maintain range, who can counter, I think he's toast. Alan Babic leaves far too many openings. Far too many openings. Like if Tom Little could punch, I know if my aunt had fucking balls, should be my uncle, but if Tom Little could punch, who knows what would have happened, because he was tagging Babic clean and he was walking into those shots. And Tom Little was an area level fighter and he was finding the target regularly. Listen, man, Alan Babic is going to get smoked when he steps up. 100%. No doubt in my mind. No doubt at all. Big up to Trist, by the way. Trist805. Not seen your name here before, by the way, bro. Not seen your name here before. Great channel. So does Huey Fury have a promising future? Huey Fury, to me, is always going to be one of those awkward spoiler types. He's going to be one of those guys where nobody really looks good against him, but he himself is not going to beat the top guys. I see him as being one of those sort of fighters. I quite frankly, I don't really see him going any further than he is now. Like a fringe contender, I would say, you know, That's how I see Hughie Fury, and that's how I see him in the future. I don't really believe he's going to get much better now, to be honest. That's just my opinion, though, obviously. But we'll see. We'll see with Hughie. As everyone says, he is still quite young, so we'll see. But thank you very much to Trist805. Much appreciated. Good to see you here. I've not seen you before, man, so thank you very much, bro. Thank you very much. Nordic Warrior War Pulev. D says don't write off Pulev. Bro, I just don't see it with his recent performances, man. I don't see it. Like the Rydell Booker fight was very concerning. The Bogdan Dinu fight, extremely concerning. Even the Hughie Fury fight, getting buzzed by Hughie is not a good look. It really isn't. To me, Pulev's been there for the taking for a long time. I think he's been treading water. He's taken a lot of fights which are basically risk-free. Guys like Samuel Peter, Kevin Johnson, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. They never had faith in him going in there against other top guys because they know he's there for the taking. I think Joshua's going to smash him to pieces, honestly. I really do. I think he's going to smash him to pieces. Yeah, actually, Fear Pain, he fought Adrian. Yeah, he fought Broner. Yeah, he did. He fought Adrian Broner. He actually won a few rounds against Broner as well. He was competitive in that fight. Yeah, I agree, Tins. I'm watching this fight round a mate's house. I'm not buying the pay-per-view myself. I'm bringing beer, which is a good investment as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not actually buying the pay-per-view, but I will watch it round a friend's house. A few of the lads are getting together, having a few beers, getting a takeaway. You know how it is. A bit of a COVID party, breaking the protocols. Oh my god. So if I don't upload next week, I'll be dead. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk about that shit. I'm not gonna talk about that shit. But yeah, I wish the undercard was stronger, Tins. I wish the undercard was stronger. Yeah, I saw that at BG London. Debo and Barbara Windsor both died. I saw that. Yeah, rip. Rest in peace, both of them. Yeah, that was a good point, Corey Lee. Big up to Corey Lee, by the way. Artur Beterbiev, one of the best favourites, and I made a video a year ago about Beterbiev being the most avoided fighter. 9 people in the IBF ducked him. Big facts. Yeah, there was a time when Beterbiev couldn't get a fight for love nor money, and they went through the rankings and couldn't find anybody. I remember that, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Luke Villa, suppose you can at least smoke a joint or two sat in your own car. I wouldn't recommend it, bro. Probably not the best idea. Christ. The Mac is back. Welcome back, Jim. Welcome back. I agree, James. I think he's going to surprise people, mate. I really do. I really do. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. Like real talk, yeah. I'm not just saying this to chat shit on Pulev, but I think Gassiev would knock him out right now. Honestly, I really do. I think he'd beat Pulev now. And time will tell. Time will tell. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But time's going to tell. I think all of these cruiserweights are going to give guys problems. Michael Hunter, Murat Gassiev, Alexander Usyk. I've been a big proponent of all of these guys. I'm a big fan of all of these guys. I think they're going to give guys real problems. Real problems. If Michael Hunter fights Filip Hrgovic, he's going to give Filip Hrgovic hell. Trust me. I'm not saying he's going to beat him necessarily, but he'll give him hell. These cruiserweights are not scrubs that are moving up. They really aren't. They're not scrubs. They're very good fighters. Phil and Grant are going to be devastated. Not to mention that pole smoker Ben. Yeah, Florian Marku sounds like a bit of an idiot, to be honest, but he can scrap. He comes to fight. He's got power, Florian Marku. So we'll see what he can bring. We'll see what he can bring. Yeah, he's not boxed since the Usyk boxing lesson. That last fight was a joke. Yeah, one round job against, what was the guy's name? Was it Nuri Safari? That fat mess. But yeah, he's not boxed a real fight since Usyk. That is a concern. He needs to get active. You know, even against tough, durable guys. Maybe not contenders right away. Get a couple of fights in quick succession against guys who can go rounds, and then step up. That's what I want to see from Gassiev. That's what I want to see. I want to see all of these cruiserweights get fucking big fights. Gassiev, Hunter, obviously Usyk's in line for a title shot. Yeah, I think that was a big part of it, Nordic. I wouldn't say he's got no skill, but I would say he's overrated. I think the problem was Joshua just overlooked him. Joshua did the same as we all did. This little fat fucker against Joshua, you know, it's like night and day when you look at them. And I think Joshua just overlooked him, got complacent, you know, tried to finish him when Ruiz was fresh, and he got caught. Paid no attention to defense, and that's what it was really. That's what it was. Yes, big up to Get This Smoke. Long time no see, bro. Long time no see. Corey Lee Boxing, how do you feel about Daniel Dubois now? I still think he's a talented fighter, still very young, but, you know, a lot of soul searching and improvements to be made. There's no doubt about it. The worrying thing in that fight was not how it ended, but how he never adjusted to Joyce's jab. He had no idea how to take it away, kept his head on center line. His guard was extremely loose. The jab was getting through. He never slipped the jab, rolled the jab. He never stepped out of range, took a step back. He had no idea how to get past that jab of Joe Joyce. No idea at all. And the lack of adjustments from Dubois was the concerning thing. Not how it ended, because I don't really blame him, to be honest, given what happened. But the lack of adjustments, the repetitive nature of his attacks was, you know, these are the sort of issues that were worrying to me. But he is still very young, so he's got time. He's got raw attributes. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Andy has great hands, but absolute cinder blocks for feet and lacks discipline between fights, in my opinion. He does have talent, though. Yeah, that's how I see it. That's how I see it, Mr. Doc. I'm not saying he's untalented. He does have a certain level of ability. There's no doubt about it. But I don't think that level of ability is necessarily as high as some people say. And like you said, his feet are a big problem. Extremely slow feet. Can't cut the ring off at all. You're right. Totally right. Babbage is going to be the Bridgerweight gatekeeper. Yeah. He's not that great, Get This Smoke. He's really not that great at all. You can't see Babbage doing anything, can you? Maybe I'm the only one, but I can't see it at all. Yes, it's a good point, Mr. Doc. Daniel Dubois wasn't developed properly at all. Frank's done him a terrible disservice by not stepping them up correctly. Yeah, that's one thing historically that Frank Warren was always good at, and that was matchmaking prospects. And you could say that he's got Anthony Yard wrong and Daniel Dubois wrong. Now, my theory is Frank's rushing these guys because he needs a star, because of obviously he's falling behind Eddie Hearn. I think that's why he's rushing these guys. If he was still on top, he would have taken a lot more time with Dubois and Yard, but he's not in that position right now. He needs to rush these guys in order to get a star, basically. That's why I think these guys have had those fights. That's just my theory. That's my theory, but you're right. Really, Dubois, he should have fought a Marius Wack. You know, he should have fought a Joey DeWaco, Dominic Brazil, or Gerald Washington. He should have fought these guys, you know, guys who can take him rounds, give him a few problems here and there. But yeah, I mean, fucking hell, they just they fed him like cans, and then they put him in there with Joe Joyce. James, AJ showed nothing last fight. He needs to prove that he's still a top fighter. I wouldn't say he never showed nothing. I thought he showed good composure and a decent mental fortitude. But to me, there was some nervousness there when Ruiz got close. He looked a bit jittery. And yeah, he certainly wasn't his confident self. I think this fight here, I think he's going to show that. I really do. I think Pulev's the perfect guy for him right now, given what happened last year. I think Pulev is perfect for Joshua. Of Johnny, big up to Johnny boy. No chance at all. Pulev is a bum, but I hope he can win. I don't think he's a bum, Johnny. I just think he's past his best, man. I just think he's well past his best. In his day, he was a good contender, but these days, man, I can't see it, bro. I can't see it at all. Nordic Warrior, let's go, Pulev. Stranger things have happened, bro. Adam Moore, to be fair, does Pulev deserve a title shot when he hasn't beaten hardly anyone? Well, officially, he is the IBF mandatory. I think Huey Fury was the eliminator. So he's done it down, he's done it in a legitimate way. So I guess you would say he does deserve it, but I'm not really interested, to be honest. I'm not really interested. Yo, smash the like, lads, by the way. Be much appreciated. Always helps us out amongst the algorithm at YouTube. The nerds down at Silicon Valley love that shit. A few likes on a video. They love it. Exactly, Luke. Exactly. Pulev needs a KO to win. Imagine Usyk defending against Babic and Chamberlain. Laugh out loud. Any half-decent puncher has a decent chance against Joshua. Pulev has a decent chance outside chance, but I don't think he'll win. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't really see it, man. Yeah, Nordic, mate, Nordic. I'm risking it all, man. I'm risking it all. I'm risking it all. So yeah, if I don't upload, then you know what's happened. The COVID's got me. No way Eddie's giving NHS workers 200 tickets in a 1,000-seater. No, he said he wasn't. He said he wasn't. I'm not going to say anything about that because, yeah, I'm not going to say anything about that. I could go on a big rant about that sort of stuff, but I won't. I won't. Yeah, I'm going to stop myself. I'm going to stop myself. I had to think there. I'm going to stop myself. Yeah, GSAFI. Just because Beterbiev is your profile picture, have you seen his amateur fights versus Usyk? And he stopped Vodzik in the amateurs almost exactly 10 years later, stops him in the pro. Yeah. Is the Vodzik fight actually online? Because I've not seen the amateur fight with Vodzik. Is that online? I've seen the Usyk fights, but not the Vodzik fight. Not the amateur fight, sorry. Is that online? Because I'd be interested in watching that. This Marku geezer thinks he's a superstar, laugh out loud. Yeah, he's got a lot of fans in Albania, Florian Marku. Those boys don't fuck around either. When you've got crowds coming back, if Marku gets in a big fight, trust me, there's going to be some trouble. That's going to be there's going to be some trouble. If Marku gets in a big fight and the crowds are back, it's going to be trouble, man. That'd be a good laugh, though. That'd be a good laugh. He's gone with Dominic Ingle, Mr. Relax, Bradley Skeet. He's making a comeback. He had a couple of years out. He took a break from boxing. Now he's coming back, apparently. Yeah, I saw that, Simon. I saw that on Twitter. Joshua ripped Coogan's debt commercial in their interview, yeah. Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Christ. I think Marku's another guy. Marku, to me, has got that that bully boy mentality. I think when somebody puts it on this guy, he's going to lose control. I really do. I think he's going to lose control badly and get fucked up. Wouldn't be surprised to see Florian Marku get disqualified at some point in his career. Just the vibe I get from him. O'Hara Davis said something similar, actually, in sparring. O'Hara Davis was he was sparring Florian Marku, and apparently they kind of went to war. Marku started well. O'Hara Davis took over, landed some good shots, and Marku wanted a fucking fist fight. So yeah, I'm not convinced about Florian Marku at all. Who's Bacole fighting? Sorry, not Martin Bacole. Sorry. Um, I'm not sure about that fight really. I've gone with the upset Sergey Kuzmin just because. But yeah, if he wins that fight, maybe Martin Bacole could fight Hughie Fury. I think that'd be a decent fight. Well, certainly an evenly matched fight. Whether it be a fun fight to watch or not, more than likely no, because it's Hughie Fury. But I would say Hughie Fury next for Bacole if he wins. Joyce actually started boxing at, I believe, 22, 23 years old. He was a late starter. He was a very late starter, Joe Joyce, considering that he's done very well because he was like a rugby player before that. And I think he was involved in athletics as well, swimming. I think Joe Joyce did ballet, believe it or not. Joe Joyce has basically done everything. He's very athletically gifted for a big dude, man. He really is. He's a strong man as well, Joe Joyce. Strong dude. Yeah, as Joshua would say, he certainly does. Yeah, Pulev needs a punch from the gods. Hang on, Yard got 4.2 million. Are you serious? If he did, fair play, but I'm surprised by that. Frank is a terrible promoter, always was. I don't think he's terrible. I just think he's had his day. Frank Warren. Queensbury need to really change things up. Maybe get one of his sons involved. Kind of take over the reins, because Frank these days is big up to Tiny Tim. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Duck. I wouldn't be surprised. Dubois should bang a chick. He might develop a personality in his recovery absence. Laugh out loud. Yeah, Dubois. Dubois reminds me of Peter Pan in a sense. You know, just that guy who never really grew up, still kind of acts like a kid. His dad basically groomed him to be a fighter from very, very young, and I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Dubois um, missed out on certain like social experiences, and as a result, that's why he's the way he is. Because I've heard people who have actually met him in person say he's exactly how he appears on camera, just really, really quiet, really, really introverted. I wouldn't be surprised if his dad pushed him so hard to the point where he kind of missed out on certain parts of his childhood, you know, certain experiences, and that's molded him the way he is now. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case at all. Like domineering parents can do that to people, and I think that's my guess with Dubois anyway. To be honest, that's my guess. Big up to Whoopi. Whoopi, what a name, Whoopi. Big up to Whoopi. Other stabbies mandatory in England. They will be soon, mate. You might get a free mask with your stab-proof vest. Oh, Christ. Yeah, Pulev's got a few good wins at like fringe level. Chisora, Ustinov, Dimitrenko, Hughie Fury. He's beaten a few good fringe level guys. Tony Thompson. But yeah, nothing that really kind of gets you excited. Basically, that's how I see him. Yeah, another Babish. Another Babish. Oh, Shannon Courtney's a clown, bro. Absolute clown. Not even worth really speaking about. A disease so dangerous you have to pay people to take the vaccination, for fuck's sake. Yep, and the same vaccination that you can't sue for if it goes wrong. And people are so willing to take it. Okay. It's ridiculous, isn't it, really? But there we go. But the less said about that, the better. The less said about that, the better. What's the point? There's no point even trying to convince people otherwise. People have made their minds up already. There's no real point getting worked up about it these days, like anymore. There's no point. Yeah, 100% Joyce is a serious contender. Serious contender. I like his adaptability, Joe Joyce. He kind of tailors his style to different opponents. If he feels he can walk you down, he will do. If he feels he needs to box behind the jab, he will do. If he feels he needs to move backwards, he will do. He can change it up, Joe Joyce. And the fight with Joshua would be very interesting. Very interesting. He's just got a weird style, man, Joe Joyce. It's hard to. What would you call Joe Joyce? What would his style be? He's almost like a hybrid. He's a fighter. He can box. He can counter. He can counter a little bit. He can do a bit of everything, Joe Joyce. Who should fight Joyce next? I mean, I guess if the WBO becomes vacant, it'd be Usyk. If you can't get Usyk, then I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't mind seeing Joe Joyce fight Joseph Parker. That'd be a decent fight. Wouldn't mind that at all. Yeah, Joyce did. Yeah, Joyce did cheerleading in a US college, chucking girls about, laugh out loud. Yeah, man, the guy's done everything. Joe Joyce. Yeah, I know. Joshua's had Joyce sparring quite a lot. They've sparred a lot of rounds together. Yeah, that'd be another interesting dynamic if that fight does happen. AJ and Co are starting to cast doubt on being able to make the Fury fight. Yeah, I don't listen, man. I don't expect it. I don't expect it to happen next. I really don't. It's boxing after all. Why are people so sure that fight happens next? They've agreed a deal in principle, apparently. Okay, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? There's been no contract signed? I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I doubt it happens next year. I doubt it happens next year. They're going to milk that for all it's worth. And we're going to get so much of this back and forth between the two fan bases, just going to be unbearable. Talk about false prophets. You've got a fucking corporate shill in Anthony Joshua, who's just again just sums up how vacuous and brain dead the population is, and you've got a sellout in Tyson Fury. Both of these guys are just they do not interest me in the slightest. Not in the slightest. Don't get me wrong. I love a fight, but I'm just not really looking forward to the build up to it. Not looking forward to the build up at all. Oh yeah, you can't fucking miss a Frank Warren interview. Like when he's on fire, when he's rolling the shoulder, doing those little twitches, like pulling those little feints, slipping the jab. uh, I like a bit of fried chicken, bro. Got to like a bit of fried chicken. If it was up to me, I'd have Joyce fight the winner of the Povetkin White rematch. Yeah, that'd be a good shout, Johnny. I'd love to see that fight. I think Joyce would beat White. I think Joyce would beat White. They'll be both good fights, though. And I think he'd beat Povetkin at this stage as well, Joe Joyce. Be very interesting, though. So I thought bloody hell, I thought I clicked the wrong button, Ben. Sorry about that. J Dav, Dubois' dad is a bit of a weirdo. Loads of kids, but other mothers are kept at arm's length. Strange. Yeah. Some Jonestown shit right there. But yes, in all seriousness, I do think, Dubois, but he has been groomed to be a fighter. His dad's admitted that. And he just seems, yeah. Christ. Jay's Boxing Universe. How's it, Del? Have you ever had any shoulder issues boxing? I've just had a labrum surgery and now I'm in a sling, but at least I'll be able to get back in the gym at some point. I've missed it so much. I've never had any shoulder problems with boxing, to be honest. Although having said that, actually, I tell a lie. I've not really had it diagnosed, but my left shoulder, my jab hand, or my jab arm, sorry, sometimes it will kind of partially come out of its socket. Not dislocate, but it kind of just feels really, really, really loose. It's been like that, though, for as long as I can remember. Like, for some reason, my left shoulder is like really, really loose sometimes. But I'm not sure what that is. But I've never really had any shoulder pain or shoulder problems that have really hindered me. GSAFI couldn't find the Beterbiev Vodsic amateur fight online, but Zavari Morel versus La Cruz is an amazing amateur fight. Morel, 17 years old, versus Olympic gold medalist La Cruz. Yeah, Morel looks like a good prospect. GSAF. What did he rename himself? David Morel. He's turned pro now, and he's 2-0, I believe. 2-0, 3-0, something like that. Oh, for fuck's sake. Dell lost interest in Shannon Courtney once she lost all that weight. Fuck's sake. Yeah, they've admitted the vaccine can't even prevent you getting the virus or passing it on. At least they don't know. Yeah, exactly, bro. It's ridiculous, man. Like, people are so willing to take it. Fucking... Each to their own. Each to their own. Joyce is like water, molasses. Listen, BG, man. I've learned. I'm stopping doubting Joe Joyce, man. I'm stopping doubting the guy. He very much impressed me against Dubois. He really did. I love the way he composed himself in that fight. How he just, I like the way he adjusts, man. Like, every single fight, he'll show you something a bit different, and sometimes he'll fight with a completely different style in certain fights as well. But one thing's for certain, I'm convinced that Ismail Salas is the best guy for Joe Joyce. Convinced of it. Because that's where Joe Joyce looked the best. Start of his career when he was with Ismail Salas, when he was boxing Ian Lewison and people like that, right at the start. And I think now that sort of Joe Joyce has returned. So he's going to be a problem, man. He's going to take some knocking out, I'll tell you that much. He's going to take some knocking out. Yeah, he doesn't have the greatest reflexes, but he's got a good knack of seeing the punch. He's got good eyes, and he'll roll with it. You know, he was rolling Dubois' power shots very effectively in that fight. Like, Dubois never really landed all that many flush right hands where Joe Joyce didn't see the shot coming or didn't roll it. If that blob beat Joshua, Joyce walks right through him. It could happen, bro. It could happen. I was thinking in hindsight, I wonder what would have happened if Joshua fought, what's his face? Big fat cunt. Jarrell Miller. Yeah, I wonder what would have happened if Joshua fought Miller on June 1st instead of Ruiz. Miller might have beat him, honestly. Miller might have beat him. Might have been too big, man. If Joshua couldn't knock out Miller, Joshua would probably get drowned in that fight. I'll be honest. Joshua doesn't have a great gas tank to begin with. And if he couldn't knock out Jarrell Miller, there'd be a very good chance Miller would stop him late, in my opinion. In a sense, I wish we saw that fight, to be honest. Miller versus Joshua. I kind of wish we saw that fight, but We'll see, man. Maybe Miller comes back in a couple of years' time. Maybe. Yeah, I'll see that. Unrivaled. Yeah, Canelo versus Smith now a unification. The WBC titles on the line. Yep. It's a joke, isn't it? Like I said, Avni Yildirim is still legally entitled to a shot. So is the winner going to fight Yildirim next? I mean, come on, man. GSAFI. Any thoughts on Canelo's knee, considering he's had that knee trouble for the last 2 years, and to get around the jab like Callum Smith's, you'll need the old school Mike Tyson bob and weave style to get inside. I don't think so, man. Problem with Callum Smith, yeah, he's tall, he's long, he's got a decent jab when he uses it, but his feet, from like Callum Smith's feet, aren't exactly fleet, are they? He's kind of flat-footed, doesn't really get on his toes, doesn't really move backwards. I think he'll invite Canelo on. He'll let Canelo get up close. Canelo's going to work him, and Canelo's going to win a points decision. You know, that fight to me is going to be like I think Callum Smith might do his best Joshua Clottey impression, where he kind of tucks up, takes some combinations, doesn't really throw much back. He'll go into a shell and he'll get beat on points. I don't think he knocks out Callum. Sorry, I don't think Callum Smith gets knocked out, but I think he loses wide on points. I really do. We've got the weirdos out tonight, man. We've got the weirdos out tonight. Let's get rid of a couple of these guys, man. We'll get rid of a couple of them. Send them to the block party. Yes, big up to Right Hook Boxing, by the way. Really good channel. Really good channel. Yeah, how are they fighting in a fucking car park in December, by the way? It's ridiculous, isn't it? December in the UK. It's ridiculous. Joe DC, yeah, I'm there, mate. Yeah, I'm there, Del, mate. My right rotator cuff has been an issue since I was 14, man. Nightmare. Yeah, my left shoulder's a bit dodged, but it's never really affected me at the same time. I just feel it kind of being loose. And I guess that's not a good thing, but it is what it is. BG London, he picked Miller for the Joshua fight. Would have been interesting, BG. It would have been really interesting. Could Miller soak up that power early on? Probably. Miller's got a big ass head, I'll tell you that much. He's a big lump. Miller was close to what, 300 pounds, more or less? He was basically 300 pounds, and he could throw 100 punches around. If Joshua couldn't get that guy off of him, Joshua would have been in for a long, long night. Which boxer are best when it comes to turning their opponents? Probably Lomachenko. He's the one who immediately springs to mind. I'd say Lomachenko right now. No, I've not seen it, Jay's Boxing Universe. I've not seen any copies in the UK. I'm not sure who's showing it or if anybody's showing it in the UK. But I've heard it's good, though. I've heard it's very good. See, Macho, Hector Camacho, I've not really researched his career that much. I've not really seen many of his fights. So he'll be a guy in which I should really look at. That documentary will definitely be good for me because I'd learn new things about Camacho. Because like I said, he's not really a fighter who I've looked a lot too much into. Miller on PEDs, nobody would have beat him. Yeah, man. I mean, the guy was a physical specimen, wasn't he? A very good chin, great punch output. He varied the attack from body to head. You know, didn't do anything special, but he was just such a physically imposing guy with real stamina. Naturally, he's going to give guys problems in that division. You know, Wilder, Joshua, even Fury, you know, that version of Miller, like juice to the gills. I think Miller would have been a handful. And you will see Miller again, by the way. You'll see him again. He'll come back in a couple of years. Yeah, I'm good, right hook, man. I'm good, bro. I'm very good. Not boxing, but why do British folks eat beans for breakfast? Don't that do your intestines in the rest of the day? Don't that yeah. I don't eat beans. I'm not a big fan of beans, Levi Khan, but yeah, a lot of people do. A lot of people do. Not a fan of beans. Fully agree with you on the Callum versus Canelo fight. Callum will fight like a big dumb lump, shelling up, standing in front of Canelo, letting him tee off. Yeah, I agree, bro. Going to do his best Joshua Clottey impression. That's what's going to happen. It'll be like one of those 118, 110, 119, 109 type of fights. Callum Smith might get a pity round. I don't see him doing it, man. I really don't. Not had a long camp. Getting the right sparring in that short space of time would be a nightmare, particularly with what's going on in the world right now. To me, I just don't see Callum doing it, man. I don't see this being the ideal time for Callum Smith. Have you seen Have you seen George Groves's weight gain? He looks like a castrated cat. Yeah, he's certainly put on some timber, George Groves. He's certainly put on some timber. He's not coming back, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, he's enjoying retirement, George. I don't mind George Groves. I used to hate George Groves on the come up. I couldn't stand him at one point, but he grew on me as a fighter, George Groves. I got to like him towards the end. Yeah, Miller was what on? Well, allegedly he was on H. What was Miller actually on? HGH, EPO. What else was there? There's like two other fucking substances he was apparently on. He was on all sorts, Miller. Kovalev fight was fixed in my opinion. Canelo didn't stop a legitimate fighter 160 or above. Doubt he would get Smith out of there. I can't see Callum getting stopped. Callum does appear quite durable, to be fair to him. He's a sturdy guy. Canelo's gonna land his combo. He's gonna work the body, but I can't see him stopping him. And that's another thing. Fight Films made a point of it. I know they've said there's no rehydration clause or dehydration clause, but again, they tried to paint that out with the Kovalev fight. They tried to make out like that fight was on the up and up. There was no rehydration clause or anything like that. But on fight week, it came out that there was. So I'll be interested to see if there's any stipulations in this fight which negatively affect Callum Smith. We'll see, man. I'm just not looking forward to it. I've got to be honest. I'm just not looking forward to it. I feel the same way about Joshua Pulev, to be honest. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to more meeting up with my friends, having a few beers, to be honest, talking some shit. Not really looking forward to the fight per se. Just Canelo fights I can't get excited for. I just can't get excited for Canelo fights. The last Canelo fight I was excited for was probably Golovkin Canelo 1, actually. That's the last Canelo fight I got really excited for. And apart from that, not really, to be honest. Not really been excited for Canelo. There's a new there's a new Lennox Lewis documentary too. Interesting. I might give it a watch when it comes out. I don't mind a documentary now and again on boxing. Now and again. Yeah, GW1516. That was it. Unrivaled. A big farmer. uh, Groves coming back as a heavyweight versus Joshua to break the gate record and rub it in Froch's face. Yeah, he certainly put the timber on old George Groves. Certainly put the timber on. Yeah, GW1516 sounds like a London gang. Yeah, no, it sounds like some like Honduran gang like MS-13 or whatever. uh, Big up Cash Ali. Oh, we got another. He's back. He's back. Old yak face. Drop him in the old block party. I can't bring myself to give Joshua my money by buying the pay-per-view. Screw that guy. G McDonald boxing, any cut, and the cars go crazy for Cash Ali here in Audi car. Fuck. Yeah, they actually got the headlights on and all sorts. Jim McDonald. Anybody like honking a horn and whatnot? That's hilarious, man. Imagine fighting in a car park in the UK in December, though. That's like the most British thing in the world. Can you imagine? It's ridiculous. Ah, it's old Pigeon. Big up to Pigeon, Mike Tyson. Do what you want, Pigeon, mate. It's all an interaction. It counts to the algorithm. So fire away, bro. Do you mean Rashat Mati? All Boxing Freedom talking news. Do you mean Rashat Mati, the Matchroom guy? He looks okay. Wasn't he a kickboxer as well at one point? Rashat Mati, or a wrestler or something. He was something like that anyway. Yes, big up to official scorecard boxing science, man. All the way. Big up to official. Pulev out jabs AJ. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I think the jab can certainly do a bit of damage from Pulev. If he commits to it, steps in with it. You know what I mean? Like Pulev's got it could definitely cause Joshua problems. Whether he outlands Joshua with that jab, I'm yet to be convinced, to be honest. Yes, big up to Lack74. Yeah, long time no see, bro. Hopefully you're keeping well. You must be enjoying the Tottenham games right now. You guys are doing really fucking well. Top of the league, beat Man City, beat Arsenal, beat us. You guys are doing really well right now. Really well. Ain't you Dutch, Duck? Aren't you Dutch? I'm sure you're Dutch. Yeah, you're not fucking Spanish. Oh, we've got another Tottenham fan here as well. James Alicard as well. We've got 2 Tottenham fans in here at least. Best 35 and over fighters right now. 35 and over. Beterbiev would be one, I would say. I'm trying to think. Donny Nietes, he's late 30s. Povetkin's still knocking about. He's late 30s. Well, he's 41, I believe, Povetkin. Isn't Briedis 35? Trying to think. Golovkin, obviously, 38. There's still some good older fighters about. Yeah, I agree, Mohammed Ahmad, Bruce Lee. Pulev probably retires tomorrow after the loss. Yeah, you guys are doing well, I can't lie. Mind you, though, you know, Tottenham, they're due it. They're due a good year, man, so maybe this is the year. Liverpool's defence don't look great. Man City look poor. United look poor. Chelsea's, to me, I'm still not convinced by Chelsea for some reason. I'm still not convinced. I can see Lampard having a bad spell and he loses control for some reason. That's what I see. I think it's going to be between Tottenham and Liverpool this year. D says Lindelof is the worst Man United defender ever. Do you know what, D? I agree with you. He's bad, right? I totally agree. Is he worse than Harry Maguire, though? Really? I think Harry Maguire has been an absolute disgrace. 80 million down the drain. The guy is as slow as a London bus. No awareness. he's not a captain, just overpriced garbage as far as I'm concerned. Get Axel Twanzebe at the back. Why not give him a game? Both of those guys suck, though. In all honesty, D. Both of those guys suck. But I think Maguire's worse. I really do. Oh yeah, Manny. How did I forget Manny Pacquiao? Jesus Christ. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao as well. I think Mr. Pigeon is having the vaccine side effects. uh, Christ. Median age of AJ's title defense opponents is almost 36 years old. Pulev is well past it. Overhand, he says Povetkin, Pacquiao, Beterbiev, and Golovkin for me. Best guys over 35. Yeah, they're up there. You got to put Donny Nietes in there, like I say. I think is Briedis 35? I'm sure he is. I'm sure Briedis is 35. Chris Hughes, hey Dale, does the Floyd Mayweather guy stand a chance against Jake Paul? He is like 50 pounds larger. Who are you talking about? Sorry. Do you mean does Logan Paul beat Floyd? Is that what you're trying to say, Chris? I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. But no, they don't. Nobody has. None of those guys have a chance. What do you think of the Uzbekistani boxing as a whole? I've started to take note of them. They have their own style, like Cubans, and you're the first channel that I've heard mention them. Well, thank you very much. I enjoy their style. They've got You're right about the unique style. A lot of these guys seem to be very athletically gifted. Quick feet, quick hands, kind of ambush type styles. They get in, get out. Um, Very creative with their offense, and it is still based on like a point scoring system in a sense. They are trying to outland you, but they do it in bursts. I like the style. I enjoy the style a lot. And there's a lot of good fighters coming out of that part of the world now. Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan. A lot of good fighters are coming out from that part of the world. And they just keep on producing great fighters. They really do, man. Like Bektemir Melakuziev, a really, really good prospect. Akhmadaliev, Bakadir Jalalov. There's a lot of good fighters coming out of that part of the world now. And these guys are going to be real, real problems soon. They are, man. Hey, Boxing and Blunts, up Rangers and Leeds. The rest don't count. Rangers are my favourite Scottish team, I have to say. Yeah, Chris Algieri's trainer letting him out of a cage against Pacquiao was a funny moment. What are your funniest moments during a fight? That's got to be one of them. The Fan Man, obviously, I wasn't around for it, but Riddick Bowe versus Evander Holyfield, the Fan Man, when the fucking Fan Man fell into the ring and got beaten up. That's kind of funny. What else is there? What else is there? I always kind of enjoy guys falling out of a ring, to be honest. That kind of makes me chuckle for whatever reason. There's been a few, man. There's been a few. Yep, just don't be Spursy, LAC 74, and you should do okay. You should do okay, man. Yeah, they need to play they need to play Axel and buy a fast and strong centre back. We've also got Mengi as well in the reserves. D. I'm not sure whether you've seen him play, but he looks solid. Why not give these guys a chance? They can't be any worse. They can't be. They can't be any worse. Levi Khan, Team Warren or Herndale boy, if you had to choose. I mean, in what sense? Who would I rather fight for? If you're asking me who I'd rather fight for, Eddie Hearn. But yeah, if you're asking me who I'd rather fight under, definitely be Eddie Hearn. Oh, big up to Lack, by the way. Have a can on me. Yeah, we've got some beers ready in the fridge, mate. Got some beers in the fridge. I've not. Yeah, I might crack one open in a bit. Might crack one open. Treat myself. Why not? Do you think Joshua ducked Ortiz? No, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. They offered Ortiz the fight once the Miller fight fell through, apparently. They offered him, what, $7 million, whatever it was, allegedly. And I think his manager actually confirmed that as well. You're going to have a Chinese and stream it, yeah? Chinese, a couple of beers and stream it. Don't blame you, bro. Don't blame you, bro. Enjoy your Chinese, pigeon. Enjoy it. What about if Jake Paul and Logan Paul fought Floyd Mayweather together? Would they be able to win then? In a boxing match, probably not, you know. Still. Logan Paul, though, to be fair to Logan Paul, he can fight a bit. Compared to the average man on the street, he can fight a bit. I've seen worse guys in the boxing gym than Logan Paul, I kid you not. He can actually take care of himself a little bit. And apparently he trains quite hard, so listen, I don't dislike Logan Paul doing what he's doing. Reality is, boxing fans will complain about it, but ultimately, if boxing was in a strong place and we was getting all the big fights and it was popping, these sort of things wouldn't really happen, or not to the extent that they're happening now. So, to me, these YouTube fights, they're kind of a, you know, it kind of symbolizes where boxing's at right now. That's what's drawing the big interest, rather than the big fights actually happening in boxing. That's what's drawing the eyes right now. It's fucking Logan Paul versus whoever. You know what I mean? Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson, who I never fucking heard of until the other week. I think he's solid, D man. I like his body work. Nice combos, good foot movement. I think he's good, man. I think he's good. The only issue for me, D, would be at 168, he's not the biggest. That's the only issue I'd have with him personally. Mills Lane KOing Hopkins is one of my favourites. Yeah, I liked one. Who was it? Was it Steve Smoger? He was refereeing a Hopkins fight, and he basically kind of slap pushed one of his opponents. I think it was Kara Murat, maybe. That's fucking hilarious, man. He's got to be better than fucking Lindelof, bro. He's got to be better. Oh, not Phil Jones though. Nah, get rid of Phil Jones. Eric Bailly, man. Eric Bailly's really been disappointing for me. I was expecting so much from that guy, but you know, maybe he could still come good. Maybe I'd still rather play him than fucking Maguire or Lindelof. I'd still rather play him, to be honest. He's quicker, certainly. He puts his body on the line. Later, bro. Let Grandpa Luis fight Frank Sanchez. I'd watch it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, D. Yeah, Joshua, apparently, Team Joshua, Eddie Hearn, whatever, they offered Pulev. They offered Ortiz $7 million, something around that sort of area. I don't mind a bit of Peroni, Jay's Boxing Universe. I like a bit of Peroni. I enjoy my Guinness now and again, if I want to treat myself. Yeah, I'd like a bit of everything, man. I'm not really all that fussy, to be honest. Levi Khan, what do you prefer as a personal workout? Soccer, aka football, or boxing? Oh, boxing 100%, Levi. Boxing 100%. All day, every day. Every single time. Every single time. Yeah, bro, he can fight a little bit, man. He can fight a little bit. He can fight a little bit. Man, why not, man? Why not? If I could fight some random celebrity right now and get paid fucking X amount of money, I'd do it. It's a fight nobody asked for, but it's a fight we're getting. I'm going to watch it in a bit. I think it's on soon, actually. I'll give it a watch. I think it starts at 10 maybe or half 9. James Alucard, I was gutted Ike Iwabuchi never came back. I mean, he was supposed to come back and fight Andy Ruiz, believe it or not, back in 2013, 2014. And by that time, he would have been incarcerated for what, around 15 years, 16 years. And Bob Arum tried to get him to fight Andy Ruiz Jr. I mean, that would have been ridiculous. But Ike Iwabuchi is one of the most, to me, it's one of the most interesting what if stories in boxing. I mean, he reminded me of like a more dynamic Evander Holyfield in a sense. Like he could get rough on the inside, but he had nice crisp punch technique, good stamina, good chin, real roughhouse fighter with technique. I think Iwabuchi at that time, if it never went wrong, and he continued his career, I think Iwabuchi would have been very good. I think he would have picked up a title, um, and he would have done damage because that was a time period where so Iwabuchi he beat the likes of he beat Chris Bird, he beat David Tua in the late 90s. At that time, Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson were they was on the downslide at that point. I think that version of Iwabuchi who beat Chris Bird, he would have beat Tyson at that time. He would have beaten Holyfield as well, I believe. Lennox Lewis, probably not, but I think he could have beaten everybody in and around that time period, maybe bar Lennox Lewis, bar Vitaly Klitschko. He would have definitely picked up a title, Iwabuchi. In my opinion, it's based on real. It's not really, and it's not fact, but I like a bit of Stella as well. I like a bit of Stella. There's a book on Iwabuchi coming out next year. See, I'll tell you what, Adam, a documentary on Ike Iwabuchi would be a very good watch because if you read about that guy's career, some of the things he did, some of the incidents, very interesting career, man, very interesting fighter. That would make for a great documentary. We get the documentaries on like the well-known fighters. Like obviously we've got one about Hector Camacho that's out, which again I'll watch when I get round to it. But Iwabuchi's a guy who isn't really as well known, but his story is very interesting. Very interesting. I'll definitely watch it. Give me your opinion on the two grandpas fighting. How do you see old Frankie versus Uncle Luis going? Um, I think I'd go with Luis Ortiz, to be honest with you, Duck. I think I'd go with Luis Ortiz just because he's more proven to an extent. But I mean, I'd go Luis Ortiz. That's kind of messed up, bro. That's kind of messed up. Being Nigerian, Iwabuchi is a big what if, but probably the biggest what if is Dmitry Pirog, who dropped his world title because he wanted to fight Gennady Golovkin, then got a back injury. For me, is still a legend. Yeah, Dmitry Pirog's another really good shout. Really good middleweight, very athletically gifted. Real fun fighter to watch, man. His knockout of Danny Jacobs was spectacular, and after that, you would have thought he would have gone on to really have a good career, but the back injury just ruined him, and he never came back. Such a shame. Another one would be Edwin Valero. He'd be another one, another what if. I think Edwin Valero, he obviously he retired. Well, he never retired. Obviously, he just what happened. But he was unbeaten. He knocked out everybody he fought, and he was a menace. He was an absolute menace. Edwin Valero. Like imagine we got fights with Valero and Marquez, Valero and Pacquiao, all of these sort of fights at that time period at lightweight. They would have been great fights. Even Valero Katsidas at the time, Valero Juan Diaz. But these would have been great fights for Edwin Valero. There's a lot of guys like that though, who are what ifs in boxing. There's a lot of those guys. Oh damn! Edwin Valero versus Manny Pacquiao fight preview is still on Richard Dwyer's channel. I might watch that, you know. Now this is the best answer. This is the best answer. Salvador Sanchez died at 23 years old, which is absolutely ridiculous when you look at the guy's resume. 23 years old he died, and he's viewed as one of the greatest Mexican fighters of all time. Imagine he got a full career, man. If he got a full career, he would have fought Azuma Nelson again in a rematch, which would have been a great fight. Maybe he could have gone up to fight Alexis Arguello. That would have been a super fight. I mean, the guy missed out on so many fights. Maybe Barry McGuigan. He would have smashed Barry McGuigan, but it would be a good name. There were so many fights in which Salvador Sanchez obviously missed out on due to his demise. And the guys he beat, you know, at the age of 23 years old was insane. You know, Danny Lopez, I think he beat Azuma Nelson, obviously. I think he beat... Was he the first guy to beat Wilfredo Gomez as well? I think he beat Wilfredo Gomez. I know he beat Juan Laporte. So he had a really good resume at 23 years old. Ridiculous resume. Imagine if he was 30, what that resume would have looked like. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good shout, though. I think that's the winning answer, Salvador Sanchez. Jimmy Pugh was good. I'll need to check him out, bro. He could have fought Eusebio Pedrosa before McGuigan. Yeah, that's another one. Imagine the super fight, though, between him and Alexis Arguello. I think that could have happened. That could have happened, I would imagine. That would have been great. Even a rematch, though, like I said, between him and Azuma Nelson. Because Azuma Nelson came into that fight, I believe, on relatively late notice. Azuma Nelson back then was, when Sanchez fought him, he was kind of more unknown, wasn't he? Azuma Nelson. He was kind of more unknown. And obviously he lost that fight to Alexis Arguello, got knocked out in the last round. And after that, he rebounded and had a real good career, a great career. It's crazy, man. Yeah, a Nordic. Yeah, that KO. Yeah, the KO from P-Rog against Danny Jacobs was brutal, bro. Beautiful shot, man. That overhand right, I believe. I like Dwyer, but he's mental. He was talking about Canelo fighting Mike Tyson. Seriously, laugh out loud. Yeah, Canelo's funny, man. He's funny. He's funny, man. What can you say? He has had some weird takes, Nordic. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Dwyer going broke with these picks. Oh, dear. But yeah, that's a good video topic, you know. Like, what if scenarios, certain fighters who are really talented but their careers were cut short for whatever reason. I think that's a good video topic. Like, there's some good names right there. Edwin Valero, Salvador Sanchez, Ike Ibushi, you know, P-Rog. That's a good little video topic. We might do that at some point. I like the idea of that. There was also that German dude who knocked out Enzo Macronelli. Now, this is a lesser guy, like, not as well known, but Robert Frankel, I believe his name was. He knocked out Enzo Macronelli and just retired. He was unbeaten as well. Interesting, man. It's interesting. Anyway, lads, I'm going to wrap this one up. We've been going a little longer than I was anticipating, actually, but really enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys did too. If you could smash the like, be much appreciated. Always goes down well with the Silicon Valley nerds. But yeah, man, peace out.